talk to her about it. I'm at the American Legislative Exchange Council today and tomorrow. It's the third time I've come to their winter policy meeting. I'm joined by Lisa Nelson. She is the CEO of the American Legislative Exchange Council and one of Washington's most influential people, according to Washingtonian Magazine, which is actually the only magazine that covers Washington, so we take their word for it. Lisa, welcome back. Good to see you. How's the year been for ALEC?
Well, this year has been an incredible burst of fresh air. We've had just a renewed appreciation for federalism, which is one of our tenets at ALEC, pushing power back to the states, and that's been happening all year long. I can't wait to see what we can do next year. Our membership at ALEC has grown exponentially, both on the private sector and on the legislative side, so big growth with the kind of that renewed focus on federalism. And this meeting here in Fort Worth, we were expecting about 800 people, and it looks like we're going to break 1,100, maybe even 1,200 when all is said and done this week.
Now, what is drawing the legislators? Why do they come?
You know, I think we just wrapped up our board meeting this morning, and we're going to be heading into our state chairs meeting and our task force chairs meeting in a few minutes. And every time I talk to our legislators, they say that the essential policy solutions that we really bring to the table are what keeps bringing them back. They love the idea of coming to our meetings and comparing one state to another. They're not looking for a cookie cutter solution to their problems, but they're looking for what worked, what didn't work, how could they shape a policy, whether it's education or broadband deployment. They're looking for how to shape that for their state and for their constituents. So they're looking for that.
And I would tell everyone watching, the reason that there's any kind of school choice in America is because of ALEC. I realize that there are a lot of people like Corey DeAngelis who are out there working it every day, and Larry Arnn up at Hillsdale, but ALEC makes it happen in the state legislatures. And I know you got a task force on that, and I hope you're rolling up. You're growing that exponentially state by state.
We absolutely are doing that. Our task force is on education, and we actually started a coalition called the Education Freedom Alliance, including Corey, including Hillsdale, including anyone who was working on this issue, which I think makes it so much more fun when you're all working together. And your past guest, Senator Rucker, our national chair, was the leader of the education freedom movement in West Virginia. And when you look at the states that say we can't pass this because we're rural, we can't pass this because of the competition, look at West Virginia. It's probably one of the most rural states in the country. So this year, 2025, the big success was Texas.
Yes.
And Senator Creighton, now Chancellor Creighton, led the effort on that. It took 3 years to get it done in Texas. And you think about the number of students in Texas, it's like 10 states combined.
It was
amazing.
The number one issue of Governor Abbott.
Yep.
And it was the number one issue for ALEC, and they combined and they made it happen. I think we have a message from Governor Abbott, since we're in his state for the big dinner. Got to cover two more things with you. We're going to get to the 250th, but before, Ohio State, of course, beat Michigan last weekend. And just bringing that up in case people didn't know that. And it brought up name, image, and likeness conversations.
Yes.
The states are all over NIL, and there's an effort by the commissioners to get the Congress to come in and preempt. What do you think about that?
Well, you know, you've asked me that before, and I know it's an issue for you. I don't think we've had discussions within ALEC around specific solutions towards that. I'm a Berkeley grad, if you can believe it, a conservative from Berkeley.
That. Yeah.
And,
Did you grow up in California?
I did.
Where?
In Palo Alto,
Okay,
California.
So it can be excused.
Northern California. But I came out a conservative, even though I went to Berkeley. And I sat down with the chancellor of Berkeley, who was my husband's freshman year roommate, who's now the chancellor, and talked to him about, kind of what's going on in colleges. And he said that's the number one issue that he's dealing with. It is, it surprises me that's, I think about education writ large for K through 12. I think about, tax policy and pension reform. Name, image, and likeness ends up being one of the top issues. And I don't follow it closely enough to understand, but I do think that if you're an athlete and you haven't decided to go pro, you should be able to control your own destiny.
And there's a boulder rolling down the hill on the buyouts.
Yes.
Where tens of millions of dollars are going because you want to fire a football coach.
Yep.
And in states, and particularly poorer states, it just gobsmacks citizens that they enter into these kind of contracts, but on the other hand, they're unhappy when they don't win football games.
We're disappointed because we had a really good quarterback at Berkeley last year, and he got traded away. And we have a really good quarterback right now, and it looks
Going to
like
the portal.
probably he's going to go into the portal. So that's disappointing.
Let's talk about something fun. The 250th celebration of our country is beginning. It's begun. We're in the middle of it. What's ALEC's part in this?
We are taking an approach, you really have to kind of look inside your organization and see what is the strength of an organization that we are all 50 states. And we're having fun with the 13 colonies, the original colonies. And we've identified legislators in each of the 13 colonies, and we've got them doing podcasts on what was happening when they became a state or when they joined the first 13. And we've launched that as a social media campaign. We've got a whole curriculum or suite of issues for the 250 that we're going to unveil next year. And I was asked to join with Erica Donald's AFPI, the 250th Commission. So I've been participating in those meetings. But we're just very excited about bringing statehood and the founding fathers and the Constitution to everyone we can. We've also have been working with the White House on the PragerU Museum of the Founders. So there was 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence, and we've got a museum that we're putting up in the state capitals all over the country that PragerU has figured out how to bring them to life. So Benjamin Franklin comes to life and says, here's what I was thinking when I signed this document.
Oh, very
and
cool.
It was a risk to my life. And, when you think about the age of a lot of these people that were signing that, they were in their 19s and 20s. They were young people taking a big risk.
And they were risking their family's fortune, life,
were.
Sacred honor, as they said. I hope, however, the Northwest Ordinance is part of the first Congress. It's after 1776, I understand, but the Northwest Ordinance made Ohio the heart of the Western Reserve. So we got to find some Ohio stuff in there, Lisa
I
Nelson.
think didn't Ohio win this last week?
They won this last week. Good
did,
for
right?
you. Lisa Nelson, always good to see you. Grand to be back at the American Legislative Exchange Council winter meeting.
Thank
ALEC.org/Hugh. Get signed up for the weekly newsletter. Find out what's going on in the states, especially in this our 250th year of having states.